Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm going to do two videos today. First of all, let's do a recap of the October the 7th attack, the atrocity, the terrorist attack, the unjustified attack on Israel. I'm sorry if that ruffles some feathers. I've done videos about how if you look back and actually do some data mining between the periods of what is happening now in the 1950s and the 1940s and even before the Second World War, you will see that the main blame for radicalizing what became the Palestinian people, for turning them into the Hamas into and creating that from the Muslim Brotherhood and all that kind of thing that happened, can be laid squarely at the other Muslim countries that surround the area. They're the ones that didn't give any kind of respite. Those are the ones that wanted the fight to continue over 80 years. They are the ones. And on the Israel side, when they were given this bit of land, and I'm simplifying that a lot, but give them this bit of land, they had just come out of a genocide, an actual genocide against their people. This affected their psyche in many ways. They drew a line in the sand and they would not ever let anyone cross that. They were going to be suspicious of everything. They were going to be suspicious of their neighbours. After all, their neighbours were saying that that land isn't yours and we're not going to rest until every single one of you is dead. Remember, Jordan, Syria, all these places around there, Egypt, had fucking masses of land that wasn't being used that they could have given over to the Palestinian people. Instead, they wanted to use the Palestinian people as a proxy to radicalize them, turning it into a forever war. And this caused, with the psyche of being persecuted in World War II, Jews created the Israeli Defense Force and intelligence and their ability to create a defensive system, and most of the systems built by Israel were defensive in nature to protect them, because they knew every fucking one around them, it was sick, were around and wanted to kill them. So when the October 7th attack happened, I classed every single death that happened after that point, every single death in Gaza, every single dead Palestine, every single dead Israeli, as squarely the responsibility of those that actually planned the attack and initiated the attack. The backing from Hezbollah, from Iran, from the other places, all the funding, the missiles and everything, it's their fault. Israel reacted to that attack. Israel took it too far, they did. But if you look at the actual history of Hamas, you look at the tactics they use, defined and researched by unbiased UN inspectors and researchers who have shown that yes, Hamas and other organisations like that not only use human shields, not only use hospitals, bloody places of worship, children's schools as headquarters because they know the West is soft. Israel had a choice. Agree to the demands of what had been done to them, which would open a whole thingy. You do not negotiate with terrorists. If you negotiate with terrorists, then it sets a precedent. Your people are then vulnerable to more kidnappings because the first time one worked. You cannot do that. The more you appease them, the more you let them get away with. So Israel took the massively hard line. And they did cross many, many humanitarian barriers. But I still lay every single part of this blame of everything that happened after the 7th of October squarely at the foot of Hamas and the countries that supported, backed, and actually got them into that position to be able to do it. That is just the way it is. I'm sorry that doesn't gel with a lot of people, but if you look into the facts, do your own research, read the unbiased knowledge that's out there, the data, do it yourself, and you will see the truth of this. I'm sorry. The problem is, it's now a humanitarian tragedy. Israel has definitely done enough to actually prove that you don't fuck with Israelis. That whatever you think you'll gain from an attack like this. It's like when Al-Qaeda attacked America. Yes, it was a huge blow, a massive blow to the American invincibility psyche. But look at what happened afterwards. Look at the destruction, the devastation in the Middle East. Was it worth it? Was it worth it to radicalize an entire country's infrastructure to be able to fight you, to be able to take you down, to hunt you down, to bring the rest of the world in on your side after the September the 11th attacks? When you go down this route of violence, even if you win, you actually lose. You do. You lose about a piece of yourself. You lose your humanity. You lose a lot of things. And when you can view your enemy as being less than you, it becomes so easy. It's a tragedy. I believe that Israel should pull back out of there completely. But I do not believe they were wrong to have done what they did, to protect themselves too. When that attack happened, and this is what a lot of fucking people tried to gloss over, the attack on the 7th was one of the worst atrocities since the Holocaust. The actual worst. Over 1,000 Hamas people crossed the fucking border. They raped and killed in the Israelis in their homes. They set fire to grandmothers in the street. They performed such atrocities at that music festival. These were just fucking children, just teenagers, just at a celebration, at a party. People don't think about just how many people were killed. Thousands of Israeli people were killed. We focus so much about the 200 odd hostages that were taken. But many of the time, they hunted these fucking teenagers down at the festival and murdered them and raped them. That's a scar that's never going to stop. And you all say, oh, but look at all the atrocities over the years. And yes, that's fucking different, as I've stated when I've talked about it all. This was an initiating invasion of another person's land. This was a taking 200 hostages. This wasn't you're going to jail or anything because you've done something wrong. This was, we're going to take these 200 odd people and use them as shields and bargaining chips. And who knows what some of the women went through. Some of the teenage girls went through. You can't equate that to what happened over the years, which was tit for tat. And you've got to remember that most of the Israeli money goes on defense, on building up a defensive army. So no, the attack on the 7th of October was not justified. The world is worse off for it. The political climate is worse off for it. And there's so many people dead because of it. I doubt he'll ever recover. This is Jason for the Quebber channel. I hope you all do.